So I trimmed my nose hairs for this video.
Yeah?
When I was editing the last video, I had the camera super close to my face and there's like nose hairs sticking out.
You could see them?
Yeah, I could see them. So I had to clean up for this video.
Nice, looks good.
Thanks. Hey, what's going on? It's Chad and Maci, and we're here doing our first episode in the Conversations with Autism Siblings Edition. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I just called it. So maybe that's what we'll call it. So you got to know Maci a little bit in the first, when we put the video out where we asked if this series would make sense. But Maci didn't do a whole lot of talking. And so this first video, we'll try to keep this series at maybe 10, 12-minute videos. Well, we'll see how it goes. But I want you to hear more from Maci. The problem is Maci doesn't brag at all, ever. And she's got an incredible amount of really good qualities. And so I may have to brag for her. So, Maci, right now, how old are you?
I'm 15.
What grade are you in?
I'm a freshman in high school.
Nice. Okay, well, as I said in the first introductory video, Maci's been the most influential person in Max's development, maybe besides his mom and I. And I have a quick story just to share with you some of her qualities. Max was in speech therapy as soon as he was, I think, about 1.5, 2 years old. He started speech therapy. And the speech therapist would come to our house and work with him on words. And he was very reluctant to speak words with the speech therapist. And because the therapist was in our home, Maci and Jamie and I all got to kind of hear what she was working on with him. And one night we were putting the kids to bed. We were downstairs, the kids were upstairs, and I hear Maci talking to Max, and I hear Max talking back. And so I grab Jamie and I run up there, and we kind of peek in, and they were both in Maci's bedroom. And Maci was asking Max to say all of the words that the therapist had been trying to teach him. And when the therapist was working with him, he wouldn't even try. But when Maci, in the still hours of the evening, when it was quiet, jumped in, started working with Max, and he started saying all of the words that the therapist was working on, it was the most precious thing. And so we learned really early on that you have a ton of natural ability to be an excellent sibling, and so much so that I can tell right away that you're going to be a good mom.
Thanks.
Well, we're going to tackle some of your guys' questions and the topics that you wanted to address, and we've got a lot to do. There's been a lot of really great topics mentioned in the comments, and we're excited about getting through them and working through them. This episode, I just really wanted to let you guys get to know Maci. And so I'm just going to ask some questions, and they might be part of what you guys are wondering and that sort of thing. And then at the end, you got to stay tuned to the end, because we address one of the most impactful questions that I read in the comments. You good? Okay. Do you think that having your relationship with Max has made you a better person?
Yeah.
How so?
Just responsibility and patience and self-control.
Unfortunately, Maci has been on the receiving end of some violence in this home, and her brother has been, when he gets really upset, it doesn't get too violent too often, but when he does, it's usually aimed at you. And you've been kicked and punched and shoved probably too many times to count at this point. And that has, I think, caused you to kind of grow up pretty fast in your ability to stay calm and not fight back. Do you feel, speaking of growing up too fast, do you feel like being in your position has sort of forced you to grow up faster than you'd like?
In some ways.
Yeah, how so?
Just like when we stay home alone together, like I feel like I have more responsibility than I would if it was just me.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've recognized, and I think all families in our situation recognize, and this is a lot of the questions in the comment section have been, sort of identity based, like who are you as your own person, and not just so-and-so's sister. What kind of things do you do that you call your own outside of being a part of our family and outside of being Max's sister?
I have played basketball since I was 6, and I have practices twice a week now. I go skiing with my friends, just with my friends.
Do you ever get one-on-one time with just your parents?
Mm-hmm. All the time.
That's cool. What kind of stuff do we do without Max?
You and I used to do breakfasts.
Pre-COVID, we
Pre-COVID.
would do breakfast once a week before school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mom and I, we go shopping all the time together.
Mm-hmm. What's maybe the biggest event we've done without your brother?
We went to Disneyland, just the 3 of us.
Yeah. So for Maci's 10th birthday, we took just her to Disneyland, left Max with the grandparents, and it was maybe the funnest experience that we've had. Well, definitely the funnest outside of having Max involved.
Yeah.
And we did it because it was for her 10th birthday. We did it for her birthday, but we did it primarily because the first 10 years of her life, I felt like she was a little bit overshadowed and a little bit not forgotten about, but just when you're putting out fires, it's the only thing on your mind in that moment, and everything else is secondary when you're having to deal with an emergency. And Maci's first 10 years, we were having to deal with a lot of emergencies, putting out a lot of fires in our home when it comes to meltdowns or whatever the case may be, just a lot more attention given to Max. And all along, Maci had been so awesome at encouraging his development and just standing by quietly and being an awesome big sister and a great daughter. And so for your 10th birthday, we decided to really bless her and show her that she's not in second place. She's not the forgotten about child. And so wanted to do something really special, and so took her to Disneyland, and that was a kick in the pants. So just before we get to the one question I want to get to from the comments, just off the top of your head, do you have sort of one overarching piece of advice for other siblings in your situation?
I would say patience is the most important part. Like if Max and I are in an argument and I argue back and raise my voice, it just makes everything worse. So you just have to stay calm and be patient.
Awesome. Well, let's get to that question. Pablo Moreno Cordon asked, he was one of the first person to comment on the other video and had maybe the most impactful question that I've read so far. Maci, you want to read it?
My sister is neurotypical and I'm autistic. I would love to ask Maci what would make her feel more loved by her brother Max.
Before you answer that, I just have to tell you, buddy, just the fact that you asked that question means that you're on the right track. So way to go. What would you say?
I would say there's 3 things that Max could tell me, like every day. 1 is you're beautiful. 1 is you're a great sister. And the 3rd is I love you.
Awesome. I think that's actually pretty good advice, no matter who we're talking to in life. Always tell people that we love them and that they're awesome. Yeah? Well, thanks, Mace.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to more conversations with you, and I'm looking forward to answering your guys' questions. And so stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
Bye.